starting off, obviously a tough game for us, and having some injuries there at the end, and having some injuries already going into it against a team that pressures the way that they did. That's a grind it out in a toughness win. I thought we had to put some players in some positions that they're not always playing, with Klotz handling the ball and Klotz guarding different people, Deb's guarding the ball, or handling the basketball and guarding different people than she otherwise would have. So I thought they managed that pretty well. I was especially proud. I think kind of a turning point there was when we were down 6, maybe 30-24. We put our kids back in that had 2 fouls, and they were able to sustain and manage not getting in foul trouble. And obviously the game could get away from you right there. You get 3 fouls and some of your kids that normally have been scoring for you, and that could have gone a few different ways. And we went to our zone to hopefully protect our kids a little bit. And then we started the second half and didn't pick up a zone either, didn't pick up a foul either. And I thought that was a nice stretch. And I looked up at 3-4 minutes left in the third quarter, and all our kids that had 2, with 3-4 minutes left in the second quarter, still had 2. So I thought that was a nice way to manage that and still be able to come away with a lead. Was huge. I think watching film, we felt like we were going to have to go to our zone. I think when we got into foul trouble, it was somewhat out of necessity. I thought they were just really in rhythm early. They got some easy baskets. They run a lot of stuff. They run really good stuff. They're athletic. And those, we've had some struggles against those sort of teams. And I thought the changes and kind of flip-flopping back and forth between our defense is really just throwing stuff against the wall, trying to keep them out of rhythm. I thought our players did a nice job of that. I thought when we started switching some of that stuff, again, that put some of our post players on their best player a few times. And I thought they really, really did a good job. I thought our guards rebounded the ball really well. They had a couple stretches there, and I know the one that Kai got hurt on, they had 3-4 chances at it. But outside of that, I thought, you're right, we made them take some clock, at some key times there with their offense. Felt like a lot of time left. I think it was 3 and change left on the clock, but obviously they had a little momentum right there. We went back to the zone. I think we were maybe up 10, and we went back to the zone, and I'll take the heat for that one. They made a big 3, then we came down, threw the ball away, and I thought they got some momentum there. And we've probably been playing pretty well in our man. Tried to gamble one more possession, with our foul trouble, and they dinged one in. But I thought other than that, I thought we closed the game and managed it pretty well.
I think that, especially personally for me, over the past 2 years, we've improved a lot against pressure, and that's something that we focused on a lot in practice this past week, is that we knew we were going to get pressured, and we knew that we were all going to have to help get the ball up the floor. And I think we did a really great job. People were flashing. Everybody was getting themselves to a spot where they could help advance the ball. And that's really what's necessary, because teams can't stay in a press for long if we can beat it with passing. I think at the end of the game, in those kinds of situations, it's just very important to remain poised and know that you have to make those plays and know that you have to keep fighting even though it seems like the end and you might want to let your guard down a little bit. I know that's one thing that we stress as a team, and I know that all my teammates are fighting with that same intensity, so we make sure we finish the game before we stop playing. Kai's a very key part to beating the press, but I think that this past season, as he said, we faced a lot of adversity. A lot of our players have gone down, and a lot of key players for that matter. We're getting better at keeping moving in those situations, and that's just what we're going to have to do, because the game's not going to stop if one player goes down. And even though we take a shot when that happens, we still have to keep fighting and find some way to get it done. Yeah, it's something we've been working on. We know we are a lot more composed under pressure tonight, I felt, and that's a result of everybody being open to the ball and flashing hard.
No.
16 or 17 years.
I mean, we've talked a lot about it, that we celebrate. This is new for some of these guys, and yeah, we just want to celebrate it. You're not going to feel bad about this one tonight. We grinded one out and deserved to win, so I was proud of them, and they're going to enjoy this. Come tomorrow, we're going to focus on BU. The coaching staff maybe has a little bit shorter turnaround and getting some things going tonight. But no, I think it's just you celebrate what you had done that night. I don't think we've never talked about 7-0 or keeping a streak going. Mm-hmm. And I think some of that is key to some of the adversity that we had to face earlier in the season. A lot of players going down. We had some games that maybe we could have upped our record earlier in the non-conference. That built a lot of character. We had 10 kids dressed tonight, and 5 of them were freshmen. Yeah. They've been in some tough situations, and I think that was just the thing I was most proud of is, we had Kai and Slagus that have been stepping up for a while, but we got 3 other kids that, may not have shown it tonight, but I thought they played very well against Colgate, and they've played very well in practice. They've been forced to be in some tough situations, and I think our kids have really, really handled it well. And that's a credit to these guys. I thought for the most part it's giving Klotz a hard time, but Kai goes down at a really, really tough moment. There was nothing about, oh my God, this guy's falling. It was completely next player up. We had 3 posts out there for a while against the press, and I thought it handled it very well.